Hi friends, it's Miss Cathy from the Mary L. Cook Public Library. Welcome to Storytime. We're going to enjoy some books and activities all about winter. It won't be long until winter is here. Do you like the season of winter? Do you like snow? Do you think it might snow soon? Well, we're going to enjoy some stories about snow and winter and do some activities together. So let's get started. Open and shut them, open and shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open and shut them, open and shut them. Fold them in your lap, lap, lap. Let's get started with our first story. Our first story is The Mitten, written by Jan Brett and published by G.P. Putnam Sons. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. Do you see the shape of the pictures? They're in the shape of a mitten, aren't they? At first, his grandmother Baba did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally Baba made them. See how she's knitting with the snow white yarn? After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound. But then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. Do you see it here? And here's his other one he still has. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Do you see him here? Into the mitten he's going to go. I wonder what animal might be coming along next. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Here he is. He went in feet first. Wonder what the next animal might be. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. Having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. In he goes. Can you see what animal might be next? As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Do you see those sharp talons? Let's see what animal is next. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. You can see those paws. Oh my goodness. Let's see what's coming next. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy Mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. Do you think this big fox is going to be able to fit into that mitten? Oh, goodness, look who's coming. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. Look at the size of that mitten, and look at the size of the bear. Let's see who's coming next. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. There's that meadow mouse. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ah, 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 choo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Oh, my goodness. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Here are these animals all tumbled out. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. I wonder what she thinks. One is a regular size, and look how big the second mitten is. Well, we're ready for an activity that goes along with the story that you just heard, The Mitten. I just love that story. And I have some mittens here on the magnet board that we're going to do a little rhyme with. First, let's go ahead and count our mittens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have a little rhyme that we're going to do together. It starts like this. 5 little mittens hanging on the line. The first one said, "We sure look fine." The second one said, "It sure is cold." The third one said, "I'm getting old." The fourth one said, "I hear someone near." The fifth one said, "There's nothing to fear." Then pluck went the mittens, and in through the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little mittens were hanging no more. All right, well, those are the words, and I'll get my mittens put back on the magnet board, and we'll do our rhyme together. 5 little mittens hanging on the line. The first one said, "We sure look fine." The second one said, "It sure is cold." The third one said, "I am getting old." The fourth one said, "I hear someone near." The fifth one said, "There's nothing to fear." Then pluck went the mittens, and in through the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 little mittens were hanging no more. Great job! It's time for our next story. Our next story is called Waiting for Winter. It's written by Sebastian Meschenmoser and published by Kane Miller. "Winter is almost here," said Deer. "I think it's going to snow." "Snow?" asked Squirrel. "Snow," answered Deer. white and wet and cold and soft. See Squirrel up here in the tree? He's looking. He's waiting. Squirrel hasn't seen it snow. He usually stays inside in winter. But not this year. This year, Squirrel is going to see it snow. Any minute now. He's looking. Oh my. Oh, look at him now. I think he's getting a little tired of waiting for the snow to fall. Waiting for snow is boring. But what if Squirrel falls asleep? He might miss it. Exercise, thinks Squirrel. Fresh air and exercise. That's a good idea to stay awake. Oh, look at him go. Have you seen squirrels run like that around trees? Oh, up and down, up and down. I think he's making a lot of racket. I think someone's waking up. What is that noise? Oh, it's Squirrel. Hedgehog hasn't seen it snow either, but now that he's awake, he'd like to. You'll have to stay awake, Hedgehog. Uh-oh. Hedgehog's getting a little drowsy. Wake up. Hedgehog doesn't think exercise and fresh air will work for him. Squirrel has an idea. What about singing? That's a good idea. Sea shanties. Shanties are songs. They're going to sing about the ocean, about the sea. Oh my goodness, they're singing quite loudly in the forest, aren't they? Nope, somebody else has woken up. Bear has had it. No winter, no snow, then no peace for Bear. Bear will have to help Squirrel and Hedgehog watch for snow. White and wet and cold and soft, that's what Deer said. But what if the first snowflake has already fallen? What if it is lying around somewhere? What if it's already winter? Oh, they're looking, searching and searching for the first flake of snow. Hedgehog found it, white and wet and cold. It's the very first snowflake. Well, it is white and wet and cold, but is it snow? Winter will be wonderful when it snows properly. Oh my, look at all those toothbrushes. We know it's not snow, don't we? The first snowflake, Squirrel has it. It's white and cold, and inside it's a little wet. Winter will be wonderful. That's not a snowflake, is it? All the cans. No, we know those aren't snowflakes. Bear is speechless because what they have found is white and wet and cold, but not soft at all. It's a good thing that he has found it. Let's see what Bear has found. The very first snowflake. Oh, that doesn't look like snow to me. Winter will be wonderful, but the snow is a little smelly. I think maybe that sock is a little bit smelly. There they are, looking at their snowflake. But what's really falling? Oh, Bear's eyes are opening. Hedgehog and Squirrel are interested. They're seeing something. It's wet and white and soft and cold. This time it is snow. Winter is here. And what are they making? They're making a snowman. And now finally they can go back to sleep. They've seen snow. Well, we're ready for an action activity, so stand up where you are right at home. We're going to do a little action rhyme about snowflakes. It goes to the tune of Frere Jacques, which you may recognize the tune as I start to sing it, and it has some motions. We're going to be floating snowflakes, and we're going to watch the snowflakes as they float down all the way down to the ground. Now, the snowflakes are going to float slowly, and then they're going to float quickly. They're going to float so very high, so you're going to need your tippy toes for that. And then they're going to float so very twirly, so you can just twirl your fingers around like snowflakes. All right, this is how our song goes. Watch the snowflakes floating down, oh so very slowly, all the way down to the ground. Watch the snowflakes floating down, oh so very quickly, all the way down to the ground. Watch the snowflakes floating down, from oh so very high, all the way down to the ground. Watch the snowflakes floating down, oh so very twirly, all the way down to the ground. Great job with your snowflakes. We have time for one last story. First Snow by Peter McCarty, published by Balzer and Bray. From the window, Sancho and his sisters could see that their special visitor had finally arrived. He had traveled from far away, all by himself. "Say hello to your cousin Pedro," said their mother. "Hello, Pedro," said Sancho, Bella, Lola, Ava, and Maria. "It's starting to snow, Pedro," said Sancho. "I have never seen snow. I don't think I will like it," said Pedro. "Why not?" "Because it is cold, and I don't like cold." "Wake up, Pedro." Sancho, Bella, Lola, Ava, and Maria were excited. It had snowed all night long. "Put on your boots, put on your coat, put on your hat and mittens. We are going outside." "It is cold," said Pedro. "You have to move around to stay warm," said Sancho. "We are making snow angels," said Bella, Lola, Ava, and Maria. "You can make one too, Pedro." "I don't want to lie down in the snow. It is cold." Just then the neighborhood children came by. "This is my cousin Pedro," said Sancho. "He has never seen snow before." "Hello, Pedro," they all said. "Isn't it wonderful how the snowflakes float around?" said Abby. "You can even catch them on your tongue. It tastes good." "It tastes cold," said Pedro. "Hey, Pedro, grab a sled," said Henry. "We're going to the top of the big hill." "Why do you go up?" asked Pedro. "To go back down," said Henry. From the top of the hill, the children could see the whole world below. "You go first, Pedro," said Henry. "Oh, no, not me." "Bridget and I will go first," said Chloe. Down went Chloe, down went Bridget. Then everybody went, Pedro too. "Whoa!" yelled Pedro. "Watch out!" yelled Sancho. Over a bump and into the air Pedro flew.
Thump, bump, thump he went into the snowbank at the bottom of the hill. "How do you like the snow now, Pedro?" asked Sancho. "I love the snow." "Maybe you would like snow in the shape of a ball?" asked Sancho. For the rest of the day, Pedro did not feel cold at all.
Well, thank you so much for joining me for our winter story time. I hope that you enjoyed our books and our activities. Before it's time to say goodbye, we want to invite you to the library winter book walk. We'd like to invite you to come to the library in the park to walk and read a story. You can stop by any time between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Saturday, December 12th or Sunday, December 13th, and again on Saturday, December 19th or Sunday, December 20th to read a book. We'll have the pages of the book on signs for you, like you see here. This is from our story, The First Day of Winter, and you can read as you walk through our park. If the weather is rainy or snowy and we can't have our book pages outside, check our Facebook page for more information. We hope that many of you will be able to join us in the park for the winter book walk. Well, it's time to say goodbye, so let's tickle the clouds, tickle your toes, turn around and tickle your nose. Reach down low, reach up high. Story time's over, so wave goodbye. See you the next time.